Today we're going to be doing something a little bit wild. It's honestly something that I never thought I'd see in a vanilla-ish version of the game, but I was speaking with Mumbo recently. He sent over a really interesting mod called QuickCarpet by DeadlyMC, and it introduces autocrafting. Now this is not autocrafting like we've seen in the past, where the mod does all of the work. There's actually quite a lot of redstone engineering involved here. So if we just fire a piston into this crafting bench, you can see that the crafting bench hasn't actually held it because the hopper is unlocked. So it's actually just popped straight out into the chest. So if we lock up this hopper, you can see that when we fire the item in, it will end up in the top corner. If we then send another item in, it will end up in the next slot. So we essentially have to build a valid crafting recipe and then unlock a hopper, and only then will we get the correct output. Now, I've always had a debate in my head as to whether or not auto-crafting should be in Minecraft, and if it is, it should definitely behave like this. This is the most vanilla style auto-crafting I've ever seen in modded, and now I'm going to experiment with it. First things first, iron ingot to iron block converter. So I basically have to pulse these droppers 3 times, so there are the first 3, that's the next 3, and then that's that, and then unlock this hopper right here, and we've got ourselves an iron block. Okay, even the simplest crafting recipes actually involve a little bit of work, but this little thing right here should make life a lot easier because it gives a full strength redstone signal whenever the crafting bench is filled up, which means that we should be able to use that as a switch to transition from filling up the crafting bench to then removing items from the crafting bench. This may be a little bit more challenging than I first thought. I've ended up with 17 iron blocks, 8 iron ingots, and 1 pressure plate. That's not great. Let's see if this new and improved design actually functions. Oh! I actually think that is working. Hey, we've got ourselves... Wow, that's surreal. So we've got ourselves a working autocrafter. We are inputting iron ingots and we are getting iron blocks out. And that is working, but it's a little bit on the slow side. And it was at this point that I had a little bit of a brainwave. Right, let's see what happens here then. So flicking the lever, we've got items going into the crafting bench. And it doesn't seem to work. So does this not work with item filters? Because it seems to get hooked up on the idea of an iron ingot, or an iron nugget even. And it doesn't seem to convert itself to being an iron block. Huh. Okay, so, I mean, I guess the locking and the unlocking might be the only way to go. So I've gone back to the drawing board a little bit, and I've created a new system that now has 4 droppers instead of 2 droppers, so in theory it should be twice as fast, and we're involving the locking and the unlocking. However, for some reason I have my doubts as to whether or not it's actually going to function. Oh, but it does look good. It looks good. It looks good. And we are getting 100% iron blocks here. And it is so satisfying to watch function. Look at this thing go. That is actually working really, really nicely. Okay, so this system is functioning and I'm happy with it. This super simple little system also works quite nicely, but it's not particularly exciting. There is just one more simple recipe crafter that I want to show you, and it's probably the most useful. Now, I must admit, it's quite a lot bigger and it's quite a lot bulkier than a lot of the other designs, but this is the sort of thing that I'm going to use auto crafting for if it's in vanilla Minecraft. And that is the bulk crafting of things coming out of farms. So right here we have got ourselves a fully automatic melon farm represented by all of these droppers. It's a big one with flying machines, it harvests everything, then all of the melons flow into my storage system all at once. There's thousands of them. And I want to convert all of those melon slices into full melon blocks. So I have an array of all of these little auto crafter systems right here that are 1 block wide. We've got the comparator, we've got the auto unlocking hopper, and I'm hoping that as these melons run through, they should make their way into all of the hoppers. Now, obviously, our first hopper is going to start filling up. But it looks like this is actually working. It's going to be a tiny bit on the slow side to start things off, because obviously all of the front hoppers have to fill up. But gradually, all of these modules are actually going to start receiving melons. And we should start getting a lot more melon blocks rolling out of this thing. There it is. Now it's starting to look a little bit more fluid. Nice! This has worked beautifully. And I must admit, I'm now starting to get a little bit upset that we don't have auto-crafting in actual vanilla Minecraft, because I would love to build this sort of thing on the Hermitcraft server. Now let's finally move on from simple block crafting and take a look at something a little bit more complicated. I want to craft up a comparator. Now there's a bit of a problem with a comparator in that it's stone, it's torch, 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 and it's quartz, but there's 2 air blocks. But the way that these crafting benches fill up is they fill up from left to right and they go down like this, which means that I can't actually program in a gap. And that is an interesting problem, and I'm not 100% sure of the solution just yet. But I think I have a bit of an idea, and my idea is to actually move the crafting bench. Now, I'm assuming I can actually move this crafting bench with items on the inside. Yes, I can. Okay. We might be able to do something here. Part 1 of the process is to get the items into the correct order, because obviously with our blocks, it doesn't really matter what order they go into. With the comparator, it does. So I've created this system here of 9 droppers, 9 hoppers, all running into the side of our crafting bench, and these droppers are ordered from the top left to the bottom right. So we have got the order of items going through all of these droppers right here, and when I send them out, they should all flow into place, which has worked perfectly. But you may notice that my comparator crafting recipe looks a little bit strange in that I've got dirt in the top left and top right corners, but those are kind of placeholder items, and I'm thinking if I push my crafting bench above this hopper right here and remove just the dirt, we should be left with just the comparator, and then I can unpower the hopper underneath the crafting bench and we can get a comparator outputted. Cool. Okay, it's good to see that that actually functions. Now we have to automate the entire process and make it loop around, which, as with all things Redstone, ended up being a little bit more complicated than I was expecting, but I'm hoping I should be there. I'm going to be honest, this is the first ever test of this system. Oh, no, it's not gone off to a very good start in the slightest. No, everything's gone wrong. Oh, wow. Oh, we have movable tile entities. Okay, that's also something that I didn't account for. I never thought I'd be complaining about movable tile entities, but yeah, here we are. Moving things that I don't want to move. With a quick redesign, I'm hoping that we should be in with some better luck. So the items have popped out. Comparator. Oh, it almost is there. I mean, the logic is there. But it's just not quite delivering, and now it's really, really not delivering. Another quick redesign later, or should I say many, many quick redesigns later, I should now hopefully have what I'm looking for. I've made some tweaks. That was it. That was it. So the dirt goes in, dirt gets removed, comparator, and outputted. I mean, it's not the fastest thing. It definitely isn't fast. It would be way quicker to actually do it in your inventory. But seeing this thing actually process that and get it done is extremely, extremely exciting. And it's all functioning properly. And this logic is allowing for a comparator to be made inside a crafting bench. This is sweet. I'm chuffed to bits with this one. I'm chuffed to bits with this one. But I think we can take it another level higher, because clearly I haven't stressed myself out and confused myself enough today already. I need to do it more. I want to be able to put the raw materials required to make a comparator, so stone, wooden logs, redstone dust, and quartz. I want to put those into a chest somewhere, have it be distributed out into the droppers, converted into redstone torches and things that we need, and then get a comparator. It sounds fun, but it also sounds complicated. So the first thing that I've added into our system is a little redstone line, which will detect if any of these droppers right here are empty, because obviously as soon as one of those droppers becomes empty, then every single crafting recipe that gets put into this system is just going to be completely broken, and that will write off the system. So this is going to be like an emergency shut-off system. Did I make it clear that this is a system? I don't know if I mentioned system enough. The next problem that I've had to solve is the issue of the dirt. So obviously we're putting dirt into the crafting recipe of the comparator, and that dirt is being taken out, and it was originally being transported into a chest, but the issue is that eventually the dirt would run out of these droppers. That would break the crafting recipe of the comparator, but then I don't want to have to input dirt into the crafting recipe of the comparator because there is no dirt in the crafting recipe of a comparator. So I've made a little redstone circuit which takes our dirt from the output of this little item sorter right here, it sends it back up, and then it distributes the dirt evenly between the two dirt droppers. So that means that in theory we should never run out of dirt because it is constantly cycling around. The next thing that I have to do is I have to distribute our redstone torches into the 3 separate droppers. And I must admit, I'm having a little bit of trouble with this, and I don't understand why I'm having trouble with this, but I am having trouble with this. I spent far too long making this complete failure that you can see right here. After a lot of head scratching, I've managed to create a system that does actually distribute items evenly. It's a little bit of a mess, but it all seems to be working. So that's all good. Now I have to create a redstone torch autocrafter. And then I have to create a wooden planks autocrafter. Okay, there's actually a lot bit involved here. Let's see if this bit works. So this is just the redstone torches. So, button press. No, that couldn't have been more wrong, to be honest with you. Let's try that again, this time with a falling edge monostable circuit. Oh, that was actually close to what I needed to do. We just need to extend the length of this pulse. I'm sorry, I'm sure there's many people right now who have no clue what's going on. And I'm going to be totally honest, I think I might be one of those people. I'm one of the people that doesn't know what's going on. I mean, I thought this would be easy. We still have so much more left to do. Anyway, hit the button. Okay, items go in. We get a redstone torch. And the redstone torch gets taken out and moves down into this section. So if I just press this button 2 more times, then that will fill up this little circuit here. Yes, good. And then once we get 3 redstone torches, they will be distributed into the different areas of our autocrafter. So we will get an extra redstone torch in this one, we'll get an extra redstone torch in this one, and an extra one in this one. Before I start recording this video, if somebody asked me, do you want autocrafting in Minecraft, I would say no, because it's overpowered. Let me tell you now, if I have to do this much to craft up a single comparator, it's really not overpowered. This bit up at the top here is the circuit required to make a set of sticks. So we've got all of the items in place. Crafting bench is currently empty. If I give an input to that, there it is. And then we have the real problem of there being 4 sticks as the output. So obviously you have to unlock the hopper for enough time for the 4 sticks to drop out. But it looks like that has happened. Everything has come out the bottom. We have got ourselves 4 sticks, which will then make their way into this dropper right here. Alright, we are gradually, very gradually making progress. Now please, just please, if I were to place, okay, if I was to place a log into here, yes, that's what I like to see. So that, all we need to do in this section is we literally just run a log in, and we're just going to get planks out. Oh, that is an absolute breeze, I have to say. Which means now, so we've got logs in. This one is redstone dust, I would imagine. So we've got redstone dust in. And then we need smooth stone in, which I need to do a distributor for that one. And we need quartz in. I guess we've got all of the item converters done. So now it's all about hooking them all up into one hopper line. I just can't get over how massive this redstone contraption is. I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good to be true. I thought I'd quickly check what happens if I put a number of logs in. It's not a good situation. Not a good situation at all. No! In theory, if I just add a simple lock in place, I mean, yeah, I think this means it's working. I'm not seeing any logs dropping out. I think this works. Phew. Right, the distributor is now going in for the smooth stone. This should be relatively easy because it's the same as this circuit over here. And with that little thing in place, and also our item sorter up at the top, this thing is now, in theory, all completed and ready to go. But I'm not entirely sure how to activate all the different parts of the circuit. I think I've come up with a way to do it. So the machine is going to create as many sticks as it possibly can with the resources that it has. It's going to detect if the droppers are filled. As soon as they're empty, then it will stop attempting to craft sticks. But as long as there is wood inside the droppers, it will be making sticks. Same thing goes for redstone torches, and then I guess same thing goes for comparators in general. So we will get the maximum number of comparators that we can possibly get with the number of resources that get dropped into the chest. Now that I think about it, that is obviously the best solution to the problem. Why would I go for anything different? And the great news is, it actually works. I just put a bunch of logs in, and we got a set amount of sticks out, and then it stopped once it ran out of wood in one of the droppers. This is excellent news. So with that logic applied to the entire system, the whole thing is now ready. I've removed every single pre-crafted redstone component from the system. So all of them are missing, none of the droppers are filled apart from the ones with dirt in them, because obviously that dirt stays inside the system. That stuff is just a placeholder, that isn't a component that is required for the actual crafting, but as I say, stays inside. All of the actual redstone components have been taken out, and I am now going to create them using the raw materials I have in my inventory. Backups have been made, let's do this. And upon activation, it totally didn't work, and I cried a bit. Quite a lot, but now it's back up and running after a very long time period of bug fixing and trying to work out what on earth is going wrong. Anyway, items are now flowing into the system, and first things first, we've got our logs being converted into planks. The planks then drop through into our stick crafter, and you can see our stick crafter is doing its thing. So we are getting a plank, 2 pieces of dirt, and another plank. The dirt then gets removed, and that leaves us with a stick. The stick is then passed down into the redstone torch crafter, and we should begin to see redstone dust beginning to flow into this thing relatively shortly. Any second now. Cool, that's it. So now we should see redstone torches are being crafted as well. Excellent news. And they're being crafted in a very similar fashion to how we craft sticks. And those redstone torches are running into a distributor, which is going to distribute our redstone torches into the different parts of the system. So we currently have 3 redstone torches in the system. That's all looking good. We should also begin to get some stone at some point in the near future, running through this distributor right here. There it is. Looking good, looking good, looking good. And that is going to drop through into the stone parts of our redstone mechanism, so you can see that we have got all of that going on, which means we have got 1 item left, which is the quartz, and I'm starting to get nervous and starting to feel sick because this is the first official test and the quartz is about to drop in. And if we don't get a redstone comparator flowing out of this thing, I'm going to be very upset. Okay. Okay. Yes! Yes! There it is! Redstone comparator just came out. Now, do we get another one? This is where I was running into issues. Oh my goodness, it's actually working. Oh my goodness, it's actually working. I've never been so happy for a redstone comparator in my entire life. There it goes. We are getting automatic redstone comparator crafting from putting in raw materials into a chest, and it is being automatically crafted using redstone logic. I've never been so happy in my entire life. I genuinely have never been so happy to see a redstone contraption working. It's just cool, isn't it? It's just cool. It's just cool. It's so cool. I could cry. So we go, after crafting up 17 comparators, it has now switched itself off. This machine is silly. And, you know, my verdict on auto-crafting in Minecraft is that it totally should be a thing because it's totally not overpowered, but it also shouldn't be a thing. Because I feel like it will... Honestly, it ages you. I feel like I've aged about 15 years in the process of making this video. Anyway, it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya! This has been a bittersweet redstone video for sure. I genuinely, when I started this video, I did not expect that to be challenging. And it was challenging. I'm sure some wizard out there has used this mechanic to make a tiny system that works really well. But I clearly wasn't that smart. And I tried my best, and I'm happy with what I managed to create. But blimey O'Reilly, I would not want to do it again. That was a nightmare.